Well, I guess they're gonna have this field too, so I forgot this one was open. And oh, we'll make that. We're gonna make that. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, Saturday morning. It is actually starting to feel like fall. A little brisk out this morning. We're in the 40s. Good shorts and sweatshirt weather. This little guy does not belong in here. Guys, you've been doing so good. We've only had sporadic calves in here. Come on. On the dock for this weekend, we have got to get either really close, or we've got to get actual corn chopped. So this morning I think we're gonna work on getting the bunker area cleared out, and then probably this afternoon then work on the chopper. The corn isn't too bad yet, but it is drying down pretty quick. I'm gonna feed calves quick, get them their ground feed, and a little bit to the steers. All right, I am going to jump on the Mahindra and start pulling those wagons out and put the manure forks on so we can start cleaning out some of the garbage in the bunker area. All right, so we got a little sidetracked, but we found a blower. We're gonna go pick that up tomorrow. It's actually another Fox blower, but it's actually way bigger. It's much bigger than the last one we had. But it's in decent shape. The guy was able to find a spout for it, so we think it'll work out all right. So when we originally made this bunker, those concrete panels back there, they are essentially 4x8, a little bit shorter than 8, like 7 foot or something like that. Dad and I actually poured those by hand. We had our concrete mixer out here, got a pile of sand gravel mix, and poured them by hand. We had a form, and they actually interlock. So we left, when we took this down, we left the back wall just in case someday we would do this again. And then when we set up the side wall, we had hauled in basically a berm of sand here and a berm of sand there, and then over the years we've taken that sand away and used it as fill in the yard. So we're still going to be able to do a pile like we used to do in the old, before we had the bunk. Similar to other people, where it's just kind of open space and you make a pile, drive it down, and go from there. So it's still going to be functional, and it'll still be nice to have that back wall. So a little sketchy, but you know, it works. We're sticking them on the east end of the bales, so that should be a decent spot for them. All right, that should work. They're out of the way, up off the ground. Should be fine for a while. Hopefully we use them next year. So the second half of that pile was just pine 2x6s. Yeah, it was all nice lumber. It was supposed to be a 3-sided shed where we did the fence project. But we sat on that, you know, we got the materials, and then we were like, you know what, we could build a nice little shed with this. And then all of a sudden, that was about 2020, give or take, and then all of a sudden prices started going crazy. So then everything just kind of sat. There actually were quite a few rat holes under this pile, which we suspected, but we have not seen any sign of those little bastards. So we're thinking our kitties are doing their job. So the little baby ones running around up by the barn this morning when I was eating breakfast, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, they're doing their job, which is what they're here for. That's why we want farm cats. We already have all the tires. We never got rid of our tires because honestly it's a pain in the butt to get rid of tires, and it's actually expensive to do that. Okay, so I know this is the most exciting thing you've ever watched on my channel to date, but really what Dad's trying to do is get the kind of level it out a little bit. He's trying to get the big clumps of weeds and sod and stuff off to the side and things like that. And as you can see, we still have a little bit of that berm left, but that'll obviously stay. So he'll be working at this for a little bit longer. I don't know if they really totally get the concept, but it's like, no, you have to go first, then we'll follow. But I also think they probably figure I'm taking them somewhere special and not to a place that has barely any grass. There's a little bit here, some fresh stuff, so I just want to do a quick buzz around, make sure there's no issues. Oh, I just realized that there's a gate that's open. I don't necessarily want it to be open. Well, I guess they're gonna have this field too, so I forgot this one was open. This is that what I consider that last chunk. So they'll have the whole thing. It's fine. Not a big deal. But the water is on. The only thing it does, it kind of puts a fence in between them, but again, it's not a huge deal. So Dad's got this pretty much cleaned up to, I guess, a satisfactory level for this year. We'll run the pile to the edge here and then to the edge over here. As far as size-wise, you know, if you're looking at this back wall, these are 4 foot wide. You know, so what do we got here? 2, 4, 6. So that's, you know, it's like 24 feet wide. We'll spill probably off a little bit, but those edges, those corners will most likely be a little bit more in the spoilage department. That's just what happens, at least for us. I mean, the Mahindra is going to be our packing tractor because it's going to be our pushing and leveling and packing at the same time. As far as length goes, probably about 18 paces, give or take. 19 paces, give or take, you know, so not a huge pile, but it'll be enough for what we want. Oh, couple strings. Missed them. Probably the starter chunks. So typically the 2 strings that start the bale wrapping get caught under a bunch of straw or hay, whichever it is. He's helping. Eagle Bull's helping. And they don't need a lot of bedding. They just need a nice little thin layer, something fresh to lay on. Be a nice place for a bale processor. I have started going through ASA, starting to put some of these guys in there, kind of on my breaks at work. So I've only got like 5 or 6 in there, so I might do a video just on that, and hopefully I won't make it as boring as the selecting of AI sires video, but it probably will be a sitting on the couch video. But just showing you like how the ASA program works and what we can do, what kind of info we can input and things like that. because it is nice, it's handy. And I got to import the calves and submit the calves first, and then go into doing the total herd enrollment for the cows. Hey, good morning. So this morning, the goal is we want to test that chopper on the edge of the field. Check it for a couple of things. We want to check it. One, does it work? Does it actually work? We think we got the hydraulics kind of figured out. There's like a little set screw, and I think there's part of one screw is longer than the other. It's a blue versus a red screw. I don't know, it's kind of weird and hokey, but I think one's longer than the other, and one for the type of, do you have an open or closed center hydraulic system? And so the style that we have, we need that to be in so that when the lever's in a certain position, that there's free flow, and then the electronics tell it, hey, pressure here, pressure there. So that's what we do. We got that figured out yesterday. Dad had to run and get that part. It was $30, but it's not a huge deal. At least we could get the darn thing. All right, this is gonna be kind of the moment of truth. We're gonna try this sucker out. Corn's a little dry, but that's all right. We will add water. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. So one big thing we want to answer is, do we need to take that dual off? We don't want to take it off, but we will find out. And we'll make that. We're gonna make that. Heck yeah. Yeah. All right, let's find out. All right, so for whatever reason, so here's the indicator whether or not the pickup head is reversing out to unclog a jam or to feed in. We had the metal alert on. We still got, there's some little quirks that we got to figure out with the metal alert. I think we have to reset it or something like that. It's not a huge deal. We're not super concerned about that. But apparently with the metal alert on, when you reverse it, it wasn't letting us switch it back. Dad's first comment was, look at how fast that pickup head is going. Going a little fast. He doesn't even have that thing really revved up that high. Now there's a little moisture in there. We did not adjust the cutter bar. We didn't adjust, sharpen the knives. The knives are actually kind of sharp. Well, it at least cuts and chops, and he was hauling. We would not have been able to do that with our last one. Now this corn is a lot drier than it should be. I mean, this stuff should have been combined, or this stuff should have been chopped like a week ago, if not 2 weeks ago. Well, it works. And yeah, he was going fast. I think when we would chop with the 717, that Super 717, still a 2-row. Now, granted, this tractor probably would have broke the 717 just because it's so much bigger. But even on the 2940, which I think is a really nice match for that 717, we were going half that speed. Half. And Dad still wasn't revved up all the way. All right, so we just got back with our blower, said it was coming. So here she be. So it's another Fox blower. This is a 9-inch. This is much bigger than our last one. And it looks like it's functional. I think it'll be all right. But it's already set up to add water to it. I like the double handle for turning it on and off. It does have the old inoculator box, which we probably won't use, but probably rig something up. Maybe not this year, but next year. Tires aren't great. Actually, it has a hole in the side of this one. I don't think that's all the way through. It's fine. We'll get some leak stop type stuff or whatever and put it in there. But yeah, now we got to figure out how we're going to get it off. It was interesting getting it on. What I'm going to do quick is I'm going to grease up the blower. It shouldn't be too bad, but basically what we did to get it off is we put the pallet forks in as far as we could, took a ratchet strap around the whole thing, cinched it tight, and that way we could lift it off. I mean, it seems to be in solid shape. Obviously it's older, it's used, but I think it's going to work just fine. There's a little bit of a learning curve, that's for sure. You know, getting used to the duals, the chopper, the speed, pretty much everything. Because we are literally, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up just walking. But yeah, it seems to be doing all right. I want to grab a handful and see what it looks like. Alright, so that's what we're dealing with. Not too bad. I think that whatever adjustment Dad made on the cutter bar is helping. We did opt to just, because when we planted this, we planted it for the picker with a smaller tractor. So we just opted to just drive the 2 outside rows down, and then we'll come back and maybe do a reverse outside round, see if we can pick anything up. But if you noticed, if you heard that, he ticked it up even more. We could almost put that screen in there, that recutter screen. That would probably really do the trick. Make this tractor actually work. Granted, this stuff is a little drier, but it'll work. So yeah, it is a little dry. It is dry, but there is some moisture there. And it would chop better if it was wetter. So, oh well. Like I've said, we've done stuff like that before, and it turned into decent silage. Well, the blower's blowing. We gotta do a little windage and elevation, so we're pointing here because the wind is blowing that way. We also don't have our water set up yet, but that's okay. Gotta get a base down. So the blower's okay. There's a tick though. When it's loaded down and going, it's like banging on something. It's got like a shaker table, but we wanted to get one load chopped because we wanted to prove everything out. We did find, Dad's gonna get that one tire fixed tomorrow, but on the wagon that we did use today, we also found that there was a tire that honestly you wouldn't have known it until you put a load on it. That's got a pretty big crack in it, and borderline chunk missing, and you wouldn't have known it until you put a load. All right, so what did we get done this weekend? Well, we got the chopper running. That's the biggest thing. It tested good. We filled a box full. Took us 3 laps, give or take, to fill it up. And it worked really well. There is a little bit of an issue with the metal alert, so we got to figure out how to do that. There's like you can do like a reset or a calibration on it, because right now if you flick the switch to turn the metal alert on, it shuts the head off. So whatever, we didn't have metal alert before, so it's not detrimental that we have it right now, but it does show in the book, or tell in the book, how you can like reset it or calibrate it or something like that. And when we get some time, we will look at that, but that is not today. Blower, not too bad. Like I said, there's that knocking sound when it's loaded down, and we're pretty sure that is that shaker bed portion. So once and there is some stuff that's kind of banged up and dented in there, so maybe if we put it back where it's supposed to be, that'll help solve that issue. So yeah, it's not a big deal, but that's a lot of green getting pulled along with the 44 and the new 3970, or the new to us 3970, and then the Badger boxes. So it's a lot of green. We like green. Green's okay. I'm gonna go watch some green right now in the Green Bay Packers. I have no idea how they're doing. Last I saw, they were 7-7. So that was before half. But all right, it is the end of the day. It's the end of the video, end of the weekend. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you liked the video. Hit that thumbs up button, help support the channel. If you got any questions about how we chop, the stupid way we put it on the pile, all that stuff, please leave them in the comments. I love answering the questions. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always,